One.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-52439. You know. 205-964-52439. You know.
I saw all the action. I saw flip.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's live on wholesaling real estate investing with a strong emphasis on wholesaling real estate, which is a zero to low barrier to entry to investing in real estate. We all like low risk, high reward opportunities. Not a lot of those out there, but this is one. So we're here to answer your questions, to try to get you on the right path of making this money, as my man Khan would say, money. And but we're here to answer your questions. So make sure you like this, share it. We don't ask for much. We don't ask for much. Yeah, that's good over there. We don't ask for much. So share it. If I got 10 people watching, it should be 10 shares, 10 likes. Can you do that for your boy? So we're ready to answer your questions. The topic for today.
You want me to put the thing
What? The banner? You could. The topic for today is, look at that boy. Hey, my God, she's bad on that art, ain't she?
You and these
That is shaking my head, right?
Yes.
Okay. Real estate market crash in 2022. Please give me your opinion on the cartoon character. Is it becoming of what I got going on? Does it identify me and what I got going on? Of course, I've been using that little icon for avatar for a minute, so we just took it a step forward. Look at them hands, like gorilla hands, don't you? Look at that. But anyway,
the money sign on the shoes for me.
Huh? Oh yeah. She asked me what I want to shoe. I said, of course, dollar signs. That's my own brand now. Oh yeah. So we will have those available in 2022 if you want some shoes with the dollar sign on. But you can take the thing down. But anyway, so so real estate market crash. What will you do if it happens?
They said
how can you?
Sorry.
Okay, good. So how can you still make some bread? Stick around. I mentioned yesterday we're going to have another opportunity to partner with me on some on the commercial real estate side, commercial real estate side of the game, and pretty much no matter where you are. Normally, it's sort of catered to larger markets, but in this situation, the smaller markets may even have an advantage over the larger markets in this situation. So stick around for that, and we're going to share that opportunity with you guys later. So we should have plenty of questions. We sent out a text message today for this. I know you've been getting text messages. If you're on the list, good. If you don't want to be on there, that's fine, whatever. But I'm here to try to add value to your life. My mom would say, I ain't gonna do nothing to hurt you. I ain't gonna tell you nothing to hurt you. So let's get it.
All right. The first question is on Instagram. Let me go back up. Have you ever used a pre-foreclosure list to get a wholesale deal?
Nah, some people run their entire operation on targeting pre-foreclosures. Just from what I know, for most people, again, some people you can make money there, obviously, but for most people, that's a more difficult route of targeting potential leads. Is the pre-foreclosure market, and so I don't recommend that being your only method, especially starting out, because the process. Now, let me just say this: if it's a pre-foreclosure and the equity is already there, meaning that the house is worth $300,000, they owe $80,000, they're willing to sell it for $120,000. Boom, that's nothing to talk about. That's just a normal deal at that point. But if the house is worth $300,000 and they owe $290,000, that's not a deal. So now, as far as a wholesale cash deal, they're going to have to do a short sale, which that's where the seller, person that still owns the house that's behind on payments, has to go back to the lender and ask them whether they discount the property. The issue that could be with that, they say, yeah, we'll do it, but it may take them 90, maybe 120 days just to come back with an answer and say, even though you owe 290, we'll discount it down to 275. So you wait all that time, spend all that and all the stuff you have to do that, because it's just not just asking them that it's a process, and you come back and they only discounted $15,000, right? So, so as long as you're aware that much time can be spent on it, boom. And then the other thing about pre-foreclosures, because most people that don't know anything about real estate, when they think about discounted real estate, they think about the word foreclosure. And for whatever reason, even though the internet has been around for, to the masses for about 25 plus years, that most people still think foreclosures are like a secret and they're guaranteed to be a deal. Both are so far from the truth that is ridiculous. Number one, they're not going to be a secret, especially a foreclosure that has actually been completed where the bank is actually taking it back. They normally don't put those back out there to the public until they contract with a realtor, and the realtor lists the property, so everybody is made available to everybody. Now, what happens is some years back, lenders, banks, whatever, when they take properties back, they've gotten wise, and they used to discount them heavily off the top, but now they still try to get close to retail for them. Not saying you can't negotiate a great deal, but it is possible. Now, with an actual foreclosure, when the bank is taking it back, they're going to control the process, which they are actually sellers, more so when you're dealing with just Joe Blow that owns a piece of real estate, which makes it more difficult to wholesale. But you were talking about pre-foreclosures. The other thing with pre-foreclosures is that they're highly competitive, because as I said, most people, when they think about discounted real estate, they think about foreclosure and even pre-foreclosure. So you're going to have a lot of competition. You have to understand this also. Not that I'm trying to talk you out of it. I like to just be transparent on what you're getting into and why you might focus on another opportunity, because there are easier deals out there. Is that well, if they're not paying that bill, meaning their mortgage, their shelter, they're probably not paying some other bills. And guess what that means? You're getting a lot of debt collection calls from now your car payment, credit cards, student loans, obviously that mortgage. So they're not answering phone calls from anyone. So now you have to be different than the rest of the people that are trying to reach out to pre-foreclosure, because everybody and their mama trying to reach them, right? And investors, and not even including bill collectors. So now you have to be a little bit more creative. So that's why some people will go door knock versus trying to call them on the phone, versus trying to send them something in the mail, because they're getting that from a lot of different directions already. Yes, you can do deals that way, but you have to do that by list for that. No, that's not something that we really pursue in that way. If they come my way through my other marketing channels, if the numbers work off the top without having to go through a short sale process, we're all over it, but then it's just a normal deal at that point. So I went around the world to answer that question, but I think it's a question that a lot of people have. So that's why I went into more detail.
All right.
Who's next?
This is also on Instagram. If the market crashes, isn't that the best time to invest? Yes. You already answered the question. I'm not going to go in a lot of detail and wait till a few more people get in here, but someone asked the question, if the market crashes, isn't that the best time to invest? The simple answer is yes. I'll get into more detail here in a moment on it. So, but yes. All right. This person asks, can you help me cup a property? Well, Jamil and I do our show on Sundays. Our schedule sometimes don't line up, so we hadn't done it in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But you could do it during the Comp 101 show on Sundays. But just comping your property, that means I got to actually spend time and do it. I can't open myself up to that, my man. All right. But I have videos to explain how to do it. Have confidence in yourself. Guess what? If you're wrong, you learn from that mistake. And that's going to be more valuable than anything that I teach you. I'm in the business of teaching people how to fish.
I don't have a fish restaurant where I'm just feeding people fish once or whatever. I'm teaching you how to open your own restaurant or to learn how to fish yourself. Have confidence in the information and how you went about comping the property from the videos that I have. Text the word the letters ARV to the number 205-964-5243. I explain it in detail. You can go to YouTube and do a search for Comps 101, Flip Man. Jamil and I have over 41 videos there, episodes there. Trust me, if you go through all of that, you're going to know what you're doing. Have confidence in what you're doing.
All right. This one is from Lisa Page on YouTube. She said, how can I improve my texting campaign?
How can you improve it? I would have to know what the issue is.
Right. You have to know what you're doing.
I would have to know what the issue is first. What was her name? Lisa?
Lisa, yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. Good afternoon, Lisa.
This one's from Carlton Tucker on YouTube. He said, Ty, where in DC will you be?
That's a good question. All right. So what I'll do is I don't know how I'll go about that because I'm really not there for business in a sense, and really only there for like one day. Really. So I made the people that are on my that are on my text list from the 205-964-5243. I may send out a text and say, hey, meet me such and such at such and such time. Number one, I just want to test it out to see, what type of people actually show up or whatever. And because I think, what I can look it up right now. Let me see, insights. And in DC, we have, this is great. We got this set up. Why it took so long for us to set up of information. And okay, so DC, right now, 233 people are on the text message list. So if I send out a text from that, so, I might say, hey, meet me at this location or whatever. And
you might need help when you go there. And so one of us should go with you.
Oh, well, yeah, we'll see. So, all right. So what we got?
All right. The next one says, can you flip in Hawaii? I love Hawaii.
You say, can you flip in? Oh, yeah, most definitely. I met when I went out to Jamil and Pace's premiere for their show, Triple Digit Flip. I met a couple that was from Hawaii that they hadn't done a deal at that point, but he said he was going to reach out to me that they did. But it's going down. That's a U.S. state, and it's not even a territory; it's an actual state. Yeah. So whatever we can do here, they can do there.
Okay, this one is from Kenny from YouTube. They said, how do you find someone who bought a property from lien and the address they use is the vacant property? I tried all resources. Do you have any idea?
Okay, what was the question?
How do you find someone who bought a property from a lien and the address they use is the vacant property? I tried.
Okay. So what they're saying is that the property was purchased, and I guess from some lien type. I'm not sure what they mean by that part of it, but the current mailing address is the same address as the property. Okay, in that case, you start by you can still trace that information. You may come up with a phone number. Ask the neighbors. You won't always do that. A lot of neighbors are very informative, aka nosy, and they know things. So you may have to give them an incentive to either provide the sellers, the owner's information, or leave your contact information so they can reach out to them and say, hey, this guy came by and said he wanted to buy your house. So I think you need to deal with him. You tell him, hey, I'll give you $500 if I buy the house, or $1,000 if I buy the house. So those would be the two things.
Compensation.
Huh?
You be giving them compensation.
Yeah. Only if I make some money. They get paid only if I make some money. 500,000, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Yes.
Okay. This one's from Randy from Facebook. He said, do you creative finance?
Yeah, we try. Opportunities on those, I don't think we make enough offers on those. or whatever. And that's going to be part of the goal in 22 to go back to some of these leads that didn't work out, which is a lot of them. And see if they, number one, still have the property and would they be open to terms now to benefit or create a win-win for all parties involved. How do you say his last name?
That's why I ain't saying.
Oh, how you say that? You see it? Oh, she can't see it. She can't see it.
Is it Greek or something?
It's an E-I-C. I didn't even see the I.
No, it's not Greek.
Oh, okay. Well.
That's why I didn't disrespect
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
I said Randy.
Oh, you guys can join us live. You text the word Gator to the 205-964-5243 if you want to get pushed to the front of the line. You can ask your question live here with me.
All right, the first question on TikTok is would acquiring a property through probate be worth it?
Well, you're not acquiring a property through probate. It just may be a probate situation. I think I'm saying that right. See, any form of lead generation is worth it. It's just with probate, depending on the state, it's just what stage of the process are you catching them with. We just closed a deal yesterday where the mom died and it was 4 kids. While we're trying to put the deal together, one of the brothers died. But we were able to do what they call, I think it's an heir bond or something like that. And so, just in case things, some comes back or whatever, but that's our state. Your state may be different. The mom had passed away long enough that we can just do heir affidavits, and basically that's like getting 2 people that are not related that knows the family to say, yeah, these are actual kids of whoever the deceased is. And so that's 2 each, so it'd be 8. On that situation, it was 4 of them, so it'd be 8. Now then, one of them died in that, like I said, in that process, so we had to do one of them. So I think he only had one daughter, so she represented him at the closing or whatever. But yeah, most definitely. So, and the reason you target probate, like I say, something has someone has died and something has to happen as far as transfer of their estate. Normally, their real estate / house is a part of that. So it's a lot of times an opportunity because the kids just don't want it. Sometimes they don't even live there. It's just they don't, they've grown out of that situation. Now, sometimes they'll hold on to it. We ain't selling mama house. We grew up in this house. My very first deal came from that situation. We ain't selling mama house, and they start renting it out to family members, and you know what happens. They start counting your pockets. Auntie don't need money to rent this month, or she don't need, I'll pay her around the 20th. It's due on the 1st. You know what I'm saying? You get months and months, maybe years of that. You get tired. They become tired landlords dealing with family and whoever else they're renting to, and now they become motivated sellers. So, yeah. Boom.
All right, this is also on Instagram. Have you ever wholesale vacant lots before?
Only like just a couple. And then you have residential. You have what you call residential, and we got one right now, but I was gonna buy that lot though. You got vacant. You got commercial and residential. So the only thing about lots is sometimes it's hard to come up with a value. It's just land in general because you don't have anything to compare it to. So now you're reduced to a lot of times what the county say the market value is, which is not always accurate. It's really what's worth. It's worth what someone will pay for it, but you may not have a lot of takers for it. So that's the only issue with vacant lots or just land in general. It can tend to be more difficult, especially if it's in a non-developing area where there's no activity of new construction, whether it's residential or commercial. Those can be very difficult to wholesale.
All right, this person on Instagram asks, when I close my first deal, can I be on your YouTube show?
We can talk about it. I can't just guarantee you that, but we're always on the search for great content, so I'm open to it.
All right.
I won't just say yes, more than likely, but I just won't automatically say yes. I have to hear what you got going on. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Well, there you go, Jessica. Jessica say, we'll see. See, the EP says, we'll see. EP, short for executive producer.
All right, this is also on Instagram. How would I wholesale an apartment that was rented to me, but the landlord, I think, is giving up on it and hasn't been in contact with me for almost a year? How's that possible?
Do they even still own it?
They might not be, almost a year rent.
They might. Wait a minute. So they renting from the person? Is what they say? They're renting from the person?
Yes.
And well, yeah, they got to explain that. They got to explain that a little more. Yeah. See, okay, you got to explain that before I even go into a diatribe on it. You got to explain that a little more.
Is what you say?
Is the timer moving over there? No. Okay, well, that's recorded. Okay.
All right, somebody else asked about DC, but you already explained.
Yeah. Just text the 205-964-5243. Again, I'm not sure if I will, but I may send out a text or do something maybe that early that Sunday morning or something. Or maybe that even that's Saturday evening. I don't know. So.
Okay, this one's from Junior Vasquez, and there's also another question I saw on here, but basically they're asking, how do I get started, or how would a beginner get started? That's like our famous question.
Junior Vasquez, am I saying that right? Vasquez. Well, you've already started, right? By trying to even acquire the knowledge to do this. Now, of course, the simple answer is just educate yourself and and use that education to start doing it or whatever. But most people, even after you educate yourself, you might just feel like just be at a standstill. But just understand this: once you go through my YouTube channel, you're going to know what to do, but you still may be afraid to take a step. So maybe that's a better way of phrasing it. You know what to do, but you may be afraid to take a step. So the first step is, in my opinion, you need to choose a method of, which side of it you're going to be on first. You're going to go ahead and try to build a buyer's list first, and then go out and try to find deals for them. Or you're going to start to generate leads and then allow your leads to build a buyer's list. But you can really do both at the same time. So ideally, for most people, if you can build a quick buyer's list first, you can wholesale other wholesalers' properties. Right. And so if you text the word buyers to the phone number 205-964-5243, in that video, I explained how to build a quick buyer's list leveraging real estate agents. Now, if you want to start to generate leads and then try to find a great deal, build a buyer's list through your great deals, then there's going to be a number of ways. You can drive for dollars, text messaging, cold calling, but I have videos on all of that. So just depends. But your first step is, number one, you're going to educate yourself. But after you've educated yourself, the actual first state is to start to try to generate leads, choosing a method that best fit your resources and time.
All right. So this one is from Kiddos Toys. They said Canada's market is really, really hit. Townhomes are selling for 1.3 to 1.8 million in Toronto. Can you help me here, please?
Well, yeah, my man Jamil started in, actual wholesaling in Canada, so I know it goes down there like it does here. Maybe some small differences as far as real estate laws and contract laws, but I don't think it's that much. So you're looking at probably, I don't know if that's the higher end or the little above middle class or whatever. At the end of the day, it still has to be a great deal. If it's a $1.8 million area as far as town homes, then in order for it to be a deal, you may need to be around 1.3, 1.4 or whatever, maybe even $1 million. So it's still going to boil down to how effective you are at generating leads, as I was sort of just talking about from the previous question. So how I can help you, Kiddos Toys, you're in the right place. Take advantage of all of this free content and knowledge. There's other sources out there, but I can only just toot my horn on because I know what I put into this. Everything you need to know is right here on my channel for anyone that wants it. It's proven over and over again by the people I interview A lot of them I've never even talked to before until they reach out to me and say, hey, I got a story to tell. And we talk about it in a little bit and we go from there and boom, you see it. So they're no smarter than you are. I know I'm not. Only difference is they probably took their information. Ain't no problem. They took their information and they applied it. It doesn't have to be perfect in order for this stuff to work. Number one. I know you want not to make mistakes, and we all want to limit ourselves on mistakes. But again, that's one of the great things about this business. Is when I say low risk, that means that you can make mistakes and still succeed. That's what low risk really means. See, high risk means if you make a mistake, it may be over for you financially for a while. Whereas low risk means you can make mistakes and it still happens. It's not going to make you homeless. That's what low risk means. Low risk, high reward. Again, we all want to seek out opportunities like that. There's not a lot of them like that out there. Generally, when you start talking about entrepreneurship, a lot of things are high risk, maybe high reward, or decent reward. But this is low risk, high reward. So you're in the right place. Just start educating yourself. I answer questions in the comment section of my YouTube videos on a daily basis. Just post your questions there. If you have any questions, you're going to see other comments there and questions that you can read through on pretty much any video. And you can learn from those, but people will learn from your questions that you post and the answers that I may post, and other people will follow up sometimes with their opinion on things. And boom, we're all here to learn and help each other.
All right. Jewel of Yah Israel from YouTube said, hey Ty, can we still get a discount on Bandit signs using your name?
Just text me and I'll send you over the information.
All right. And Lisa Page, she's the one who asked about help with her text message campaign. She says she's getting rejections. I'm not sure if it's my opening message or folks just aren't interested. I'm not giving up though. I'm going to put out Bandit signs today.
Yeah, Lisa, on your opening message, let me just say this about the text messaging. Initially, you just want them to respond. You may not even say anything about real estate, right? And I know when I put this out of people, so it's no big deal, but you might say, hey, hi, John. I think I missed your call again. Something of that nature. And they'll be like, who is this? Oh, hi, I'm Lisa with Lisa Buys Houses, and we're trying to buy your house at 123 Main Street, blah, blah, blah. Do I have the right person? And just go from there. But the initial message technically doesn't need to even be about real estate per se that direct. You have to just get creative just to get them to respond. I know we're playing trick and dagger. You're really not trying to trick them. You're trying to bypass Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, because they have filters in there because so many people are trying to text their customers about buying real estate that they have just trigger words in there that'll throw you in a spam column, and a lot of your text won't go out to them. So initially, you're trying to get them to respond. So be creative on that initial message.
All right, back on TikTok, this person said, I bought a property in Georgia for $7K. Would I fix it first or flip it back to the market without rehab?
Well, my man, that's not enough information. That's actually not enough information for me to answer that. I would have to know what's the ARV, what's the repair cost on it, what's the rental area like in that particular market. So it's sort of hard to answer that question without knowing that information.
All right, this person on Instagram said, how about Lancaster? I think they was referring to because you was talking about you was going to DC. So are you going to Lancaster?
No, I'll just be in the DC area, so I don't know where Lancaster is.
Pennsylvania?
No. All that stuff sort of, right? They said Pennsylvania? Mm-hmm. I don't know how far that is. He had to tell me. How far is that from DC?
Okay, this is also on Instagram. Do landing pages work to get clients?
Well, yeah, if you can get people there, that's the thing with a website is you got to get eyeballs there. You could do Google AdWords, Facebook ads, YouTube pre-rolls. But you got to get eyeballs there. People that own real estate. That's the thing.
All right. How do I get a list from the title companies?
How do you get a list from title companies? What type of list are you trying to get?
They haven't responded back yet, but we do have one more on Instagram. Let's see. All right, this person asks, can I work with you on a deal? It's a vacant home.
Yeah, if you have the property, you can partner with me. Still for about 30 minutes in, I'll go into it, but most definitely on houses, just text the numbers 5050 up there on the board. That video will explain in detail, but I'll give you the short version of it. If you're dealing directly with the owner, it's off market, great deal, and you have it under contract. You can submit it to dealyourlater.com, and we can possibly partner. Now, if you're not sure what a great deal is, that means you probably need to watch more of my videos. Text the letters ARV to the 205-964-5243. That's the first thing you need to know. Text the letters GD for good deal or great deal to the same number, and that'll be the other part of it that you need. So, boom.
All right, this one is from Mark Gresham on YouTube. He said, outside of your local city, what are 2 top cities to wholesale in?
Man, I don't know if I can just give you just an answer per se, but Birmingham's a medium-sized city.
Well, he said, what are your 2 top cities?
Well, that's what I'm about to say.
Oh,
What I've actually had some action in has been in Virginia. Which city was that? I think it's Richmond, and Atlanta. It's because it's close.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a couple hours. Atlanta's only a couple hours from Birmingham.
All right. I think it's Foul Force 1. She's a lady in Hawaii. She said, come to Hawaii. We welcome you.
Send me a plane ticket.
Oh, what island do you live on? Okay.
I got really educated about that when I was talking to the couple. I wish I remember my man. I got him on my Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know them islands are like hours from each other.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I thought you could. He said, no, you don't want to get on no boat and go to none of them islands. Is it from one island? He said, no. He said, once you normally get to one, you're there. You know what I'm saying? You have to choose the one you want to be on. Most people know Honolulu,
Mm-hmm.
and what's the other one?
Maui.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know shit. Whatever. Y'all know. So you mean Maui is in Honolulu? It's a city in on.
Honolulu is a city.
Okay.
Maui is an island.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Okay. This one's from Tawana on YouTube. She said, good evening, Footman, and everyone here. Many blessings and prosperity to all of you. Thank you for that. Same to you. This one's from Jacqueline on YouTube. She says, have you ever done a deal in St. Louis? And is there a market for wholesaling in St. Louis?
Actually, yes. Most definitely. But yes and yes.
Okay, so this one's from Kenny again. He said, I am the neighbor. He's the one who said that he was looking for the owners of a vacant house, but they had the vacant house listed, and you said maybe reach out to the neighbor. He said he is one of the neighbors.
Now you need to, as I said, go there to skip tracing, and then you may want to use a service like Intellus.com to skip trace for potential relatives. If you don't already know that. So
this one is from Nerd1 on YouTube. They said, how is wholesale real estate and real estate at a whole gonna change under the upcoming Metaverse?
I wish I knew that answer, my man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's an out there question.
That's above most of these
question.
individuals that are watching what it is, but they'll still know what the Metaverse is. But because I just sort of like figured out, I've been hearing the term for a little while and actually just looked into it, so I get it now. Yeah, I get it now. La La Land.
Basically. We can't even get it right down here. We're trying to make the damn metaverse.
La La
but
Land.
okay.
Well, gamers have been in the metaverse. They've been doing, yeah.
Like we talked about
Yeah,
earlier.
gamers been doing it. It's just us lames, quote unquote. I guess behind it, or they've been in the metaverse. So.
All right, this one's from Stuart Whitaker on YouTube. He said, would you pursue a deal where a seller is stubborn, but you know it's a potentially good deal?
Well, sometimes it's just all about the follow up. You never know what's going on in someone's life where they may be resistant. So if they've already agreed to a price that works, then yeah, most definitely you want to continue to follow up. You know, that's where most of the deals are made through follow up. So yeah, everybody ain't gonna be easy. That's just real. But again, if you all have already discussed a price that works, then you know, yeah, you need to stay on it until they say no.
All right, this is on TikTok. Have you ever wholesaled in St. Louis, and is it a good market to wholesale in?
We just asked that.
Oh, they just asked that then. And then she just came back again and said, how many wholesales have you done in your lifetime?
I'm not sure.
Too many.
I'm not sure.
All right, this is on Instagram.
I should know that, but I don't. Go ahead.
All right, this is on Instagram. How do you leverage real estate agents in states that aren't wholesaler friendly?
How do you do what?
Leverage real estate agents in states that aren't so wholesaler friendly.
So how do you leverage? Say that again.
How do you leverage real estate agents in states that aren't so wholesaler friendly?
Basically, how can you use a real estate agent if somewhere like Illinois?
Well, yeah, I guess that's what they're really asking. There's only 3 of them. I explained to someone the other day. I guess I just need to do an actual video, but it's only 3 states. That's why I really hadn't did it. But you got Kansas, Illinois, and Oklahoma, from my understanding right now. Then the city of Pennsylvania requires you to have a wholesale license, which is more like a business license. But the other 3 states require an actual realtor's license or broker's license. Seem like I have to explain this every day, but I'll do it again. And if I was there in one of those states, right? I'm explaining. And so, and I'm sure some agents probably have figured it out that they can leverage their license to work with a lot of people that don't really want to go through the process of getting a license for whatever reason, which I would be probably one of those individuals, I think. And so they'll just partner up with a lot of people that want to wholesale and just take a share of the deal. Still basically doing the same thing they would normally do or whatever. They just using their license to do it. But I would seek out a struggling broker agent, depending on the market. And trust me, there are a lot of them. And partner with them. Obviously, it has to work out. You have to feel them out to see if that would be a good fit for what you're trying to do. Create a marketing / web development agency. And what I would do is each time we put a property on the contract, I would go register the domain name, aka called the website name, right? 123mainstreet.com.net.biz, doesn't really matter, right? Whatever the name of whatever the street name of the property is. Then I would set up a free website, use one of the free website building services like Wix or Weebly, post photos and videos on the property on the website. And so whenever we close on it, say we were going to make, I don't know, $16,000, right? And so we're going to go 50-50 on what's made. So whenever we close on it, I would invoice, the closing attorney or title company, have the agent sign off on it that, I'll be paid from the proceeds of that deal for my services of building that website, which will be $8,000. Boom.
All right, this is on Instagram. How do you wholesale a house with a squatter? Let the seller get them off the property or what?
Well, that can actually be to your benefit because they may give you a price that works, that's a good deal, assuming there wasn't a squatter, but because there is a squatter, I need a better price. All right. So how I would handle the squatter is, and it's just going to depend. Some people, money doesn't move them, period. You know, so the squatter just may be living life just on the bare basics with no stress, just only worried about two things every day. How am I going to eat? And how am I going to keep from being rained on? I just need somewhere to sleep safely. Now, that sounds like a very interesting way to live. That you got just two things to worry about. How am I going to eat? And shelter. Like some real caveman, bad bone stuff, right? And so, but anyway, but what you would do, you try to pay them to leave, right? Now, if the deal is attractive enough and they won't leave with payment, and you only pay them, you will only pay them once you get paid, obviously, but and they may need some moving expenses or whatever, but I wouldn't ever put money in their hand until I got paid. So you may have to dollar up on some moving expenses, because even though they're squatting, you know, they still may actually be living there like for real, you know, there were lights and everything, you know. And so, so you may have to incur some moves, because basically explaining to you, you're going to have to move, whether you can get paid to leave or let we get these folks on you, the law. Yeah, well, yeah. So I don't know how. Well, yeah. So so that's what I would, you know, I've done before. You know, well, they were the couple times I did, they really wasn't squatting; they were just not paying rent. So is that the same thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I think of squatting, we never had an agreement. We never had an agreement to move in there. Period. You just no. When I think of squatting, I think you just moved in there in my vacant house.
Both of them squatters.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I guess. Yeah. So I guess same thing. I guess still a squatter or whatever. But I was thinking about somebody just moved into a house that I had that was vacant. And now I just can't go say, hey, with my pistol or whatever, and just say, hey, move out. You can't do that. You know, you can do it, but you're not legally in the right to do it that way. You know, it's a civil matter at that point, normally. So I guess it could be trespassing. That's not civil. So I don't think.
Remember that lady did that in that house we tried to look at in Collegeville? Remember? We was following her to her mama's house.
Oh yeah. She was going up there knocking. Oh, she was not playing. I'm like, this lady crazy. Folks, huh? Yeah. We was. Oh yeah, it's tough over there, man. I've never done a deal. I had a house over in Collegeville for $500 one time, but couldn't move it. I don't even really look. I don't even know why we went over there and looked at. Who convinced me that Ken about to talk me into going over there? Because I don't even want to go on. You went in the car? What is that? No, not that house. Not that. That's been a long time ago.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I don't know.
Because you remember Ken got out the car and asked her something.
Oh yeah, I was with y'all when. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I was talking about the one he was talking about earlier.
No. That was way before. Yeah.
All right, this is on Instagram. I found a home that is vacant. The grass is overgrown. The milk is piled up. It's owned by an LLC. When driving for dollars, it only gives me the address of the LLC. Is it worth pursuing?
How long has the LLC owned it? If you can determine that, that would factor in. At the end of the day, there's a human being behind an LLC. And they have issues just like anything else. Just sometimes it's just harder to reach those individuals. So why not? Send them a letter. You never know.
All right. This one is from Ashley Johnson on YouTube. He said, hey, Flip, trying to get a house under contract. The daughter of the homeowner has power of attorney. Does the title company confirm this info for me, or should I ask them for documented proof now?
All right. Before I answer that question, you want to partner with me on some commercial stuff? I'm going to be targeting now through 2022 and beyond. Text the word units to the 205-964-5243. You'll get a link back with a video explaining what we're going to be doing. So text the word units if you want to partner with me on some CRE, aka commercial real estate. All right, so how to trying to flip a house, the daughter, homeowner's power of attorney. No, the title, they're gonna have to have documentation from her. The title company wouldn't have that information. That's gonna have to be provided by the seller, the daughter.
All right, this one's from Stuart Whitaker again. He said he saw a video on the 18-year-old that closed the 5 to 6 deals in a week. They had door signs and wanted to know where they got them from.
Door signs, you mean like door hangers?
I think so. Is that what was on the video?
Oh, I don't know. I hadn't seen that video. Any print company can do those, man. You just want to try to price and get the best price available or whatever. So
I ain't mad at that because it's kind of like door knocking, but you ain't really got to knock on the door. You just leave it.
yeah,
I like that.
That way you ain't got to get cussed out.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, God, my God, yes. Oh, they'll cuss you out just because you done came up on their property and placed that. What's the name? Yeah.
That's true. Never mind.
Depending on what you want, they might even shoot you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Coming on their property.
They do it when they be campaigning. People do it when they campaign.
Well, they probably get cussed out too.
That's true.
Trust me, they do.
That's true.
So just because you putting that notice on there, that ain't mean I'm voting for them. Matter of fact, that didn't even piss me off because you did do it. You know I ain't voting. You don't know, but it tell you that, hey, that's a so-and-so.
So-and-so. I ain't heard that in so long. Okay, this one's from YouTube. He said, do you do subject to deals?
Really not my lane.
This one is a very quick answer. This is from Boombox256 on YouTube. He said, I have an empty lot in Bessemer. He's willing to donate it to a nonprofit. And in his next comment, he gave you the address.
Oh,
what can he do with that?
He wants to donate it to the land. Oh, I don't even know how to go about doing that. You know, that's not my lane either. It's not my lane, so I have no idea. But that's
Admirable.
Admirable. Yes.
Okay, this one's from Brianna LaShawn on YouTube. She said, Flip, don't be sending me no text trying to scare me, talking about a crash.
You on here, ain't you? Hey, you on, hey, what's her name? What's my girl name? Brianna, you're on here. Oh, so let's go and talk about the crash then, since Brianna brought it up. Okay, so Brianna, just think about it like this, right? Okay, it's going to happen. Now, where is it 2022 is going to take a dip. It's just been on a serious ride here recently. COVID actually was really where a lot of businesses failed or were hurt by COVID. You know, some industries have thrived with COVID. And real estate is one of them, mainly because, from my understanding, is that just trying to stimulate the economy, they made the interest rates so low, like historically low. So it's forced people into buying and selling because the rates is just so low. You could buy more house now because the interest rate is so low. Most people buy a house based on the monthly payment, which goes into their monthly debt to income ratio or whatever. So it allowed them to buy more house. So that drove the prices up, drove demand up, which drove the prices up. So we're going to have a scale back. Plus, I don't know if we have felt the real effects of COVID of a lot of people that were landlords that were not, and people that were living in the house were not paying their rents. So I don't know if I know we haven't felt the real blowback from that yet. So it's going to be a feel of change. But the thing about it, and someone said it earlier, said when you have a real estate crash, that's when you're supposed to get rich in real estate, you know, because there's going to be a lot of discounted real estate available. When it happened back in late 07, 08, 09, you know, I was still new to the game and, you know, I didn't know any better. I was living wild, you know what I'm saying, and making this money, you know, and whatever. And I was living that way too. And I ain't even no wild dude for real. But I learned a valuable lesson, got hurt financially. Whew. Now I'm ready. Let's get it. I hope it crashed. So it's time to make, you know, you make some money, and it's just going to be endless. It's already an endless opportunity. That makes it endless in a different way, right? So When it happens, don't be scared by what the news say and all of that. You normally want to do whatever the masses are doing. You want to normally do the opposite. That's normally how it works. Whatever the masses are doing normally when it comes to money, you normally want to do the opposite. Most people get rich by doing a few things. They're either doing things that most people are not willing to do, most people don't know about, or what's the other one? It was another one I always like to say. Well, a lot of people say this is a scam. You know, you always gonna have that crowd. Everything's a scam. Like, damn, everything was a scam. How does stuff actually ever get done? God dog, or whatever. So, but anyway, so with the crash, it's going to happen. I don't know if it'll be 2022, quote unquote, but whenever it happens, that's why you're here right now. You have an opportunity to come up big time. Now, obviously, somebody else is losing, but hey, that's why the world works, man. So, kill to be killed.
All right, back on Instagram. All right. She said, is there any point in using Bandit signs when there's platforms like PropStream?
Well, I had to learn. I learned this from my folks out in St. Louis with Graphic Connection that helps me with the direct mail. If you want to do direct mail, text to letter mail, and my guys, Corey and Ryan, would gladly, they're experts, get you going on your way. But the owner of that outfit, what's his name, Rob, I think. I don't know if I ever posted that. I don't know why. Well, anyway, the man, the guy that owns the company, started the company. He said something to me. He said, if you're not doing direct mail, or if you're not doing Bandit signs, or if you're not doing this or that, you're always leaving money on the table. Now, I know everybody can't do all different methods or whatever, but someone that'll respond to a Bandit sign may not take a cold call or respond to a text message, and vice versa. Someone that will respond to a text message may not ever call a Bandit sign. So whenever you're using different methods of marketing, everybody's not the same on what they'll respond to as far as a message of marketing or advertising that's put in their face in some form of fashion. So doing multiple things will generate multiple type of leads, multiple type of property owners, different type of potential motivated sellers. With Bandit signs, and I know it's not for everyone, you're just simple, guys. There are many billboards. The reason billboards have been effective over the years, and why you pay thousands of dollars a month for a billboard, depending on where it's located, is because you're taking advantage of eyeballs in traffic. We drive cars a lot here in the U.S. And so now they may not be as effective. I'm talking about the large billboards as before, because most people, when they pull up to a light or a stop sign or something, most people go right to their phones and say, who does this text me, or blah, 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 or check their social media or whatever. And so, but the flip side of that is now you have a phone number on a billboard or a Bandit sign, whereas years ago when I started, everyone didn't have, quote unquote, a car phone. That's what we used to call them. If you had a cell phone back in when they first started being produced and didn't have a car, you were looked at as crazy. Like you got a phone, but you don't have a car, because they were called car phones, right? So as time went on, y'all didn't know that, did you? Y'all knew it? You knew it? Yeah. Okay. All right. You knew that? Huh?
I think I recently understood that.
Okay, okay, yeah. If you didn't have a car and had a phone, oh, you were like crazy. So just think about the number of people you know now that don't have a car but have a phone. It's like the flip-flop. You know what I'm saying? So, so now my point is, it gives you an opportunity. You have a message out there on the street, people can pick up the phone immediately and call you. You know, a lot of times that's how it happens when they see your Bandit sign. They still looking at the sign when they call you. You know what I'm saying? So, or they may they have an opportunity. They don't even have to write it down anymore. Guess what they can do? They can just snap a photo of it and possibly forward your sign or your message to someone else that they may not be the one that actually trying to sell a house, but they know one of their friends or relatives or whatever that needs to sell a house, and they text them over a photo of the sign. Say, I know you say you've been trying to sell a house. These guys might can help you. Boom, they text it over, and You at the closing table.
All right, this is back on TikTok. Her name is Faith Coach. She said, "Hey, blessings. Would it be easier to get my first home through your system rather than NACA?"
Oh, NACA.
Okay.
Okay, she's talking about NACA. It's a program that help you to buy your first house or whatever. So, well, now, okay, we're really talking about two different things here. What's her name?
Faith Coach.
Faith Coach. We're really talking about two different things here, because you're looking for home ownership. You can use wholesaling as a vehicle to build some capital, to improve your credit, because you can pay off debt, and then you can go through traditional lending to buy. Or you can go through NACA. Now, on top of that, when you learn the wholesale, you're going to learn how to generate a certain amount. You're going to learn another method of, I don't know what you're doing now to generate income, but this is going to be another way of generating income. But with NACA, the only thing it's going to do is try to help you buy a house. So, so one basically may possibly produce an opportunity for you to buy a house cash if you wanted to, whereas the other one, you're going to have to, and that NACA process is a minimum of 6 months to go through it. Some people it takes longer or whatever. So, and they're not I have a couple of friends that went through it, and they're not the most customer service friendly individuals. You have to have a lot of patience. Unless they've changed in the last 3 or 4 years, you have to have a lot of patience to deal with NACA.
All right, we're back on Instagram. Do you have?
And maybe that was just a local thing, and they're different in different spots. But like I said, I had a couple of friends that went through it, and like one person and one of their relatives, and it was, you know what? One of them they went through smooth. The other two they did. Let me just say that.
She replied back. She said, "Yeah, it was a long process for it now."
Oh yeah.
All right, so back on Instagram, do you have to pay taxes for wholesaling at the end of the year?
It's income. Yes, it's income.
All right, this is also on Instagram. What are some good hard money?
But that's a good thing. You know why? If you're paying taxes, that means you made some money. Would you rather pay taxes on no income or income? Obviously, you don't want to pay any, but realistically, so that means you made some money.
All right.
Cost of doing business.
What are some good hard money places so I can go to fund my deal based on the deal and not credit or down payment?
I don't know. The down payment is the real thing. Most of them are going to want a minimum of 10%, but they normally going to want 20% or more. So if it's $100,000 deal that you're trying to fund, with repairs and everything, 20% is $20,000, or 30% is $30,000 that you're going to have to bring to the closing table. So to answer your question, I don't know of any that don't require that.
Oh,
No, okay.
yeah, he couldn't do it.
Okay, this one is from Kyle Brown from YouTube. He said, while driving for dollars, should I be looking into vacant houses that's not listed on PropStream?
Well, the ideal of PropStream is to have I don't think you understand what PropStream is. It's just a data service. So if it's a piece of real estate, it's a part of the data service. They pull in the information from whatever county you're targeting. So every property is in that system. Mm-hmm. Maybe I don't understand the question. If it's not pulling up in PropStream, it's either one or two things happen. It doesn't exist, or the county has an error with the address. Other than that, it's going to be there. I'm not sure what you're asking.
All right, this one is from One Truezilla on YouTube. They said, "Good evening, Footman. I've watched 90% of your content.
Oh.
I've been taking action, but I'm having issues finding investors in my area. They're in Camden County, New Jersey."
Okay, so do you have any deals? Have you put anything on the contract? And if you want, like I say, if you text the word buyers to the 205-964-5243, that video is going to explain how to build a cash buyers list, leveraging real estate agents. But to answer your question, do you have any have you actually put any properties under contract?
Is it a good place to wholesale? Is Brooklyn, New York good?
Yeah, millions of people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This one's from Vina Davis. Is there a list of states that are wholesale friendly, no real estate license required?
Yeah. You got, let me tell you the ones that are not quote unquote friendly. Illinois, Kansas, and Oklahoma. So you got 47 more than am I right there for you?
Yeah.
40. So the other 47 are wholesaler friendly.
Is Mobile a good place to wholesale?
Yes. You got the thing. We never verified.
No, I was saying that he said he can make it.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
I thought I pressed cancel. Maybe I was trying to see if he still.
Yeah.
This one says, what are some good hard money places I can go to fund my deal based on the deal and not credit or down payment?
Oh, they done went to YouTube.
Yeah, she asked that a moment ago.
Okay, sorry. Okay, this one's from Courtney Powell on YouTube. They said, at what point in a person's wholesaling career would you recommend them to quit their 9-to-5?
Oh, okay, that's a good question, Courtney. When should you quit your job? Well, only you can answer that. Ideally, you want to have a minimum of 6 months of living expenses saved up before I would even consider that. Some people quit as soon as they hear about this, but which I wouldn't recommend. But only you know your situation and who you're responsible for, as far as taking care of them, if that's anyone. So, but ideally, a minimum of 6 months of bills. So that's going to be relative to whoever's listening. A year would be better, so it's all about managing. It's all about managing your money. As my mom would say, it's not about making it; it's in the management.
All right. Someone asked, is San Diego a good place to wholesale? Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. That was the Hawaii lady too. Yeah, that's all shit. All of them.
This one's from Brianna LaShawn again. She said, when you say do the opposite of the crowd, do you feel like that applies to the type of leads you go after as well?
Yeah, and you always want to try to think outside the box. You want to do probably just the standard stuff, but you always want to try to be outside the box, and maybe you found a niche that no one else is targeting in whatever market you're pursuing. So yeah, you always want to try to be thinking outside the box on how you're generating leads that maybe no one else is using that method. So, but you don't want that to prevent you from doing the stuff that has been proven to work either, but you always want to try to look for an edge.
All right, so Cal Brown, this is about the property that's not coming up. He said the property is found on the system, but it's not coming up in my filters as vacant.
Well, sometimes you just won't know. That the information is provided by the Postal Service in most cases, so it's going to only be as accurate as how the Postal Service makes it available to data firms like PropStream and other services. So,
all right, this one's from Derek Bailey on YouTube. They said, what about Atlanta, Georgia? Aren't they changing the rules as far as reaching out to homeowners, where you can only send direct mail once every 6 months?
I haven't heard that, so I'm not sure. So if they do that, you just adjust. Again, like I was saying, be more creative, thinking outside the box. So.
Or just like the other guy was saying, he did the door hangers, because that's not exactly mail.
Yeah, I think it may not be, but I think I may be interviewing that dude here in a minute or whatever. So.
Okay, this one's from Jeff Pointer on YouTube. He said, running into issues, overrun with the new wholesalers placing high offers, killing the market in Richmond, Virginia.
Running into issues, overrun with new wholesalers placing high offers, killing. Well, again, they're not going to reach everybody. Just do your thing, man. Don't use that as an excuse. As you can see, Zillow, as big as they are, They were not able to do it, put a dent into the market. So don't worry, it can't be whoever you're referring to. They can't be that big of an outfit. If Zillow couldn't do it, these guys can't do it. Just do your thing.
All right, this is back on TikTok. How do I get into wholesaling?
How do you get into wholesaling? Well, you started. It starts by educating yourself on the process and what to do. I give all the information away right here on my YouTube channel. You don't know how to ask that, to go to YouTube and do a search for Flip Man. Boom, this guy gonna come up with a cartoon character to think he looks like me, and a red shirt on, Flip Man. Just dive in. It's all there. Literally, like it's literally all there for whoever wants it. So, but you gotta put the work in. The work starts with educating yourself and having the patience to do that. I know I'm not that entertaining, but just listen to me. I'll tell you a few things that can help you.
All right, I think you already answered this, but I think they're just joining. They said, should I do Bandit signs?
They work. Done the proper way. If you go to YouTube and do a search for Bandit, Flip Man, Ride Along Bandit signs, that video I give you a demo on how to do that. So yeah, they definitely work. Yes, most definitely.
All right, this person on TikTok said, when I skip trace the names, I don't get the right numbers.
Well, you know what? Number one is going to depend on what you're using. So you're only spending 10 cents, 25 cents. That's very cheap as far as skip tracing. So normally, like if you're using Skip to Flip, which is an affiliate of Skip Vault, most of them are right. I'll say probably about 70% of them are right. That's a good, even if it's just 50%, that's a high number of properties being skipped. So how many are you trying to skip? Are you just doing spots from when you're driving for dollars or whatever, maybe 50 or so? That's not a large number. So it just depends. Then it depends on what service you use. So, but again, just keep in mind when you're only spending 10 cents to 25 cents to do this, you can spend more and get actual numbers, but it's going to may cost you $15 to $20 every time you do it. So just keep that in mind.
All right. This one says, what do you know about wholesaling in military towns, specifically Clarksville, Tennessee?
I'm not familiar with Clarksville. What's the population there? Clarksville, Tennessee. Clarksville. What is that near also? Boom. Oh, it's 102,000 people. So yeah, that's plenty big, Brianna. Clarksville is plenty big enough. And in a military town, I would assume there's a lot of transition, which should increase, which creates a lot of activity. So most definitely. So yeah, we need to close this out. I gotta get ready for that thing.
Okay.
Really quick, guys. Again, you want to partner with me? Text the word units to the number 205-964-5243. Doesn't matter if you're in a small town. On this particular opportunity, just text the word units to the 205-964-5243, and that video will explain how we can get this bread now and in 2022. Again, if you didn't get your question answered, place it in the comments section of any of my YouTube videos. I answer those pretty much on a daily basis. This will go into replay mode if you're on, even on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can go back and watch the replay. On YouTube, you get a better experience if you want to check it all out. Plus, you can access all of my videos there, which is where the real content is. I do put a lot of content out on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, but you're limited there in most cases. The real meat and guts of what is offered on how to do this is on YouTube. So tomorrow will be the live. It'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's the normal Flipanar. So please join us. Share this, and hey, text units to the number, and we'll see you guys on the flip side.
Text me and I'll text you back. Text me and I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. You text me then I'll text you back. Text me then I'll text you back. TikTok, you don't stop. I will help you make your paper stack. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at now? 205-964-5243. Now you know 205.